has changed with print on demand and Etsy in the last few weeks. And if you are not staying up to date, then you are falling behind. So let's go over all those new updates so that you can stay on top of your business. And like I said, there's been quite a few changes, so let's get right into it. The first one are the most recent Etsy changes. Etsy has been changing a lot of things recently. Sometimes these updates literally show up for a day, and sometimes they seem to last. So let's go over these ones that are lasting. Both of these two major updates have to do with the Etsy search page. The first one is your main mockup photo or your main Etsy listing photo used to be a rectangle. But now if you take a look at these, in August, Etsy actually switched the dimensions from a rectangle to a square as the main photo size that they'll be showing on the search page. This means that if you had been creating images for your Etsy listing photos that were meant to be rectangular, they're now going to be cut off. If you take a look at this one right down here, this sand, you can see she had a sand label in there, which probably showed up perfectly when this was a rectangular dimension, but now because it's been cropped to a square, now it's cut off. I actually had to go through my page and start looking for ones that would be cut off. Luckily, a lot of them were okay because a lot of my images were centered, but that might not be the case for everybody. And now moving forward, I've made sure I am changing all of my Etsy listing photos from the rectangular size to a square size. That way, when I'm uploading them, I don't have to worry about anything being cut off on the search page. Etsy's minimum pixel requirement is 2000 by 2000. So I've actually just been doing 2700 pixels by 2700 pixels for all of my Etsy photos moving forward. The second update you might have actually even realized when looking at my screen here. Before, Etsy titles used to show their full title on the search page, but now I'm only seeing one key phrase showing up on the search page: custom mama sweater, sweatshirt, whatever that person chose. But if you actually click into their listing, you'll see that there's a lot more keywords in their title than we saw from the search page. To keep the Etsy search page looking clean, they have decided to only be showing the first key phrase of everyone's title on the search page. Your first key phrase is going to be the first block of words before the first comma in your title. Usually that's used to separate all of your different key phrases within your title. Luckily, this doesn't mean that your keywords have disappeared. They are still in your title. This is just a visual difference, and your SEO should not be affected by them cutting it down just on the front end, because on the back end within your title, those keywords still exist. But this is something that you need to keep in mind when you're writing your titles, especially when you are trying to pick your first keyword title, because whatever you pick there is what is going to show up under your photo. So it needs to make sense. The third update is for Everbee users or people considering using Everbee. Everbee is a great tool for competitor research, but they never were able to offer you certain stats that really helped you make decisions, but that's recently been added in. If you've been following me for a while, two of my favorite tools, pretty much the only two I use, are eRank and Everbee might just factor out eRank with this new update. If you've used Everbee before, you probably know that you are able to view people's titles by clicking on product analytics. By doing that, we can see a lot of information about this listing, how many reviews it has, how many sales it has, how long it's been listed, and we're able to see all the different tags that they've used for this listing. But the new major game changer is being able to see the search and competition stats. For a while, we were able to see the volume, which is how many times that this was searched in a month, but it never had competition. And without knowing competition, really searches weren't that useful. Versus now, we can use this tool to find more keywords, more tags that have high search, low competition. So we can use this to decide if we want to pull some of these tags for our listings, or we can even use it to find new niches by going into other people's listings and then seeing what keywords they have in there that have that, like I said, high search, low competition. The ones here, do I really want to use gift for her? Sure, it's got 21,000 views, but it has over 7 million competitors. Versus if we scroll down, there's a lot smaller ones. Toddler mom still has 1,500 searches, 72,000 competitors. This example is a little bit high, but using this tool, I've been able to find many new niches and new keywords that I want to use. I can also use this by typing in part of my keyword into the Etsy search bar. So say I wanted to create a cat product. I'm not sure exactly what type of product I want to create yet. I'm going to type in cat And Everbee is going to show me the amount of searches that this gets a month. So cat collar has 3,600 searches. This has kind of always been in Everbee, but what's new is now if you hit see more, we're also gonna get the competition stats. So it's gonna bring up a page like this. This has 3,600 searches, but 160 competition. Again, this is super, super helpful because without seeing competition, search values don't mean much because sure, they might be searched a lot, but if we are never, ever gonna be found with that keyword because it has, say, 7 million competitors, then that might not be a niche that we wanna go for. The next big update is for you Canva users. I am also a Canva user, but a huge complaint that I've always had was their lack of text effects. Sure, on Canva, there are effects. They have added a few more like outline, which has been really helpful for me. And they've always had curve, which was pretty much the only warping of your text that you could get until now. Now, they've added a new app. And if you just go onto apps down here, and we're gonna type in TypeCraft. And then you're going to see this purplish logo, and we're gonna click that here. And then we're gonna type in whatever text we want. I'm using hello for an example. We can pick our font. All the fonts should be the exact same that you can get in the file. So if you know what type of font you wanna use, just search that up. And then you can add some of your styles, the same thing that was in the effects before. But now what you can do is you can also warp the text however you would like. You can just keep playing with this. If you don't like it, you can reset the shape. You can play with it again. And you can go absolutely crazy with this, which adds a whole lot more customization for your design. And then whenever you are happy with your design, you're gonna hit add element to design. And then there you go, we have our new warp text. Obviously I did this in seconds, but there's a lot of cool things and cool shapes that you can make to fit into your designs using TypeCraft. Moving on to one of my favorite new updates, which is very new. I did not see an announcement about it, but I kind of just noticed that it was on my account. I always use Swiftpod for designing, but they've usually only offered front and back designing. Same with pretty much every single provider out there. But now on sweatshirts, hoodies, and t-shirts on Swiftpod, you can also print on the sleeves. So we have the left sleeve and the right sleeve that you can add a design to. Meaning now designs like this are possible for you to make. This would be great for customized products. Get a doctor's name, a teacher's name, their loved one's name, a Valentine's Day gift. This is pretty much the main use case that I see for this sleeve printing, and I can see it selling very, very well, and it has sold well on Etsy before, but it just wasn't possible through print on demand until now. My next one is a quick little plug. I'm actually gonna be presenting at Printify Amplified, which is premiering on September 14th. I'm actually flying down to Latvia to meet some of the team and to be live and doing my own panel, as well as joining some of the live groups to just talk with people. So if you're interested in talking with me more, sign up for the Printify Amplified, which is free September 14th. Can't wait to talk to you guys. And then the final update that I need, and this is a very big warning for sellers out there. This is a warning for all Etsy sellers. I've been noticing this more in forums, and I've even been getting emails about this, about scams happening in people's Etsy messages. Things like someone saying, oh, hi, I can't actually purchase your product. It's asking me for blank. It could be your email address, your name, any personal information. And they actually send you a picture of a page that looks super legit. Do not fill out anything. Do not click on any link that someone is sending to you in your Etsy messages, because these are becoming really popular and I've been getting them too. One that I've been also seeing going around on top of just people just asking for your email address is one asking you to fill out a link with your credit card information, or they say that they can do advertising for you, but they need your banking information. Again, anything that sounds fishy is most likely fishy and not worth the sale. Just mark it as spam so that you don't get dinged on Etsy for not responding, and do not engage at all. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. I'm gonna be trying to do these pretty often because if you follow me on my shorts or on my TikToks, I am constantly talking about brand new updates. So I figured just having one of these lumped videos is really going to help people out in getting all this information at once. All right, thank you guys, and I'll see you next week.